Ciao Birkenstock fans, friends, and Birkin lovers. Michelangelo here once again with another great tip. Many of you have seen on our Facebook pages the wonders of the SVIG or SVIG soles. They come in a variety of colors, as you can see by looking down here. And what we do with these is we usually put them over some type of midsole. So on a recraft, we would put a Birkenstock sole on the shoe or sandal and then sand it and then put the SVIG bottom on there. As you can see, the SVIG bottom is fairly thin but very, very durable. It's only about 4 millimeters thick. So in either case, on a recraft or on a new shoe, what we do is we mark the sole where we want to trim it to. As you can see by the line I'm drawing, you got to keep your hand perfectly straight and in the same position because you have to mark both of them. All right, there's one. Now let's do the other one. Then we'll sand to that line, put our master cement on there, and then go ahead and affix the SVIG sole to the bottom of this brand new Birkenstock. It's an older style. But the customer had a brand new pair in the closet and wanted to put the SVIG sole on the bottom. So as you can see, it's all marked up. Put my pen down. I'm thinking that since he doesn't want the high contrast, we will go with the beige color on this, and so it'll look good. It'll kind of match up with the upper, the suede upper. So we'll go ahead and sand that now, and then we'll do the gluing. And then when we're all done, we'll go ahead and put some Aquatech on that suede to protect it, hopefully from staining. Suede is difficult, nothing protects it 100%. But if you use nothing on it, then it's guaranteed it's gonna stain. At least with some type of protectant on it, it will help protect the suede, hopefully, at least from most dirts. Obviously, if you get grease on it, that's a little more difficult. We recommend Dawn dishwashing soap to scrub it up with. But that's it. Okay, so let's go ahead and start sanding and we'll get underway. Thank you very much. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're gonna get started on sanding the sole. As you can see, this has a brand new Birkenstock beige colored sole on it. We'll go ahead and sand it down to the line and then we'll put the SVIG sole on there. So here we go. Okay, that's one done. We'll work on the other one and then we'll meet you back at the gluing table. All right, we're back. So after we've sanded them, we always take our trusty paintbrush and brush them off. Part of the test, a doctor friend of mine who we do a lot of rocker soles and lifts for, this is his test. So you throw it on the table and if it lays flat, then the bottom's flat. If it totters and weebles like a wobble but it doesn't fall down, then you need some additional sanding. At home, you can go ahead and do this with a belt sander or some other type of sanding device that you feel comfortable with if you want to do this at home. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and apply our master cement. And this is a two-part product, much like Barge and many of the other cements out there. So what you do is you put it on, you let it dry, and then you compress it to allow it to stick to itself. But it has to dry first. And then you'll trim the edges and go ahead and sand the edges after you trim them, and you'll be all done. And you'll have one of the wonderful SVIG bottoms on your shoes. So we'll go ahead and we'll apply this, and then I'll be right with you folks. Okay, so we put the glue on both sides, the SVIG tire sole, and on the bottom of the Birkenstock. We let it dry so that it's tacky, but it's fairly dry. This glue here works by sticking to itself only after you let it dry. And since we're doing this at home, we're going to go old school, and we're going to apply it by hand rather than use the press. So you'll put it on here and align it up, make sure it's in good position. And then roll it, roll the edges, really apply some pressure. Since you're doing this at home, this is the way you would do it. And then you'll let it dry. Then after it dries, you will trim the edges and sand the edges with whatever sanding method you want to use. You can even use a Dremel if you want. But you'll have to sand the edges. You can trim it with a pair of scissors and then sand it. You can trim it with a razor blade and then sand the edges. However you can get closest to it. We'll just trim it with some scissors and then run it on the Jack Master over there in the home garage shop. Or as my kids like to call it, Poppy shop. So that's it. We'll let that dry. And then if you should get any glue on it, you can use the booger remover. Don't forget to watch the video on the booger remover. And no, I'm not talking about your finger. I'm talking about our little piece of crepe that we use to get glue and smudges off of the shoes. So we'll be right back. We're gonna let this dry, we'll trim it, we'll sand it, and we'll show you the finished product. Thanks a lot. Sit tight. Okay, so we've trimmed up the soles with our scissors, as you can see. And then I went ahead and edged the bottoms. And now we have a pair of Birkenstock Maine suede shoes with the SVIG tire bottoms. Long wearing. We also maintain the Birkenstock EVA in the center here for cushioning. And we've got the long wearing SVIG tire bottoms for durability. So these will last a long time. They're great. Now what we'll do is we'll give it 3 coats of Aquatech. Give it 1 light coat, wait 30 minutes. Give it another light coat, wait another 30 minutes, and give it another coat. So make sure that anytime you brush your suede, that you reapply the Aquatech or whatever other product you're using. It's very important. These products tend to work by molding to each other. That's why you give 3 light coats instead of 1 heavy coat. This way they can bond to itself and then provides a shield of protection over the suede or leather or fabric or whatever you're trying to protect. Okay? So hopefully you found this informative. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Ciao!